Hi, my name is Sophia. I am 35 years old and I'm an engineer living in Perth. So I started calisthenics training about 10 years ago, and then I also started to include more movement-based training with Glenn and Emma about 5 or 6 years ago. My biggest challenge was around motivation and consistency. With the years of doing fly in, fly out, and that all or nothing, get somewhere, go backwards, get somewhere, go backwards, I also sort of burnt out and lost motivation just purely because there didn't feel like there was a point in putting in all that grueling work to get back to where I was. So I sort of did feel as well kind of frustrated and going around in a circle. A big driver for why I joined the Groundwork program was that I had trained with Glenn and Emma before, and I already knew that I really enjoyed their style of coaching, their passion, enthusiasm, creativity, and just different way of viewing the body and movement. It wasn't exercise to achieve a superficial accomplishment, but a very holistic and engaging way to train. So just for that alone, I was instantly drawn to the program. My first impressions when starting the programs was a little bit of overwhelm and confusion, because we were essentially building up the awareness and learning the concepts and learning how to almost teach ourselves. So because of the structure of the program and the support from the coaches, we were able to get through this initial period. And after that, when you started to actually notice the smaller details and be able to move in ways that served you better, it became self-motivating and very exciting as we built up from that level onwards. So it went from a difficult initial period to an exciting sort of adventure. So in other training styles that I've done, you demonstrated a movement to replicate, giving very little to no consideration as to what your actual experience is on the inside. If something is difficult or not feeling good, push harder, train more. That's sort of the a pretty typical training outlook in many different regimes, and it's almost glamorous. The worse you feel afterwards, the harder you've worked. That's a badge of honor. So this was extremely different, because all of a sudden you're realizing, oh, what's happening? How is my body different, both, left side to right side, or from yesterday to today? What could I do to actually help unlock something in myself? And the end goal is essentially, how can I move in the best way for me and what feels the best for me? So very, very different mindset to other training regimes. It was also fun. There's also little challenges or games, things where you fall off, things where you're trying to replicate a pattern that triggers sort of that inner child excitement, that just that pure joy in trying something and being okay to stuff it up and have a bit of a chuckle and keep trying and work through it. I don't often experience that ever in other training regimes. This was the first time that I was doing an online program like this, and also the time frame of 4 months was something I haven't really embarked on before. And so I was really interested to see how the structure and the style of content supported my journey. There was a really good balance of live group classes following along, and then also sort of information content. And the beauty of the online course structure is you can go back to earlier recordings in your own time and really revisit things and kind of integrate the knowledge side with your head and the experience side. And as different elements changed and improved, they impacted what you might have once thought of one instruction. So it was a really nice way to feel like you're in charge of your own development and what's important to you at that time. It was really customizable like that. So the fact it was like a choose your own adventure puzzle of your body was really good for motivation and making it sort of a real journey from start to end. The program had the flexibility within the content and the structure and the individualized coaching, so that each person could focus in on what was most important to them and get a very unique experience. There were two main big physical changes that I noticed over the course of the Groundwork program. The first one was posture and awareness. I noticed a huge increase in just being more present with how I'm moving my body day to day with everything that we do. The other physical change that I wasn't expecting so much was a really noticeable improvement in my strength and endurance. So the training program wasn't specifically designed for strength and bulking, but through all of the balancing, the single leg works, the squats, the crawling, the hanging, overall I've really noticed some improvements. So now when I go back and just recreationally lift some weights with friends at the gyms or go bouldering, I'm still probably even better at my physical performance than I was, several years ago when I was training specifically for strength. One of the biggest changes over the Groundwork program for me was unlocking my resting squat position. This has been something that I'd been working at for years and years and years, just trying to muscle and push into the position and stretch it and hold it, and just never being able to make it. 4 months of learning how the hip socket and the femur move together, working on my rotation and coordinations, I was able to achieve something that I'd never been able to just force through with brute strength. So that was a beautiful thing from the Groundwork program. Beyond the physical benefits, something that Groundwork helped instill in me was this new trust in myself to actually feel empowered to say what is feeling good, what isn't feeling good, and taking that time to actually trust myself, because today I feel like we're told what to do, we're told what's good, we're told what's bad, and we ignore a lot of the information that our body has for us. So that confidence and trust in myself is great. For the physical training, this means that I'm not going to just be signing up or making long spreadsheets of plans for the next month. I trust that I can sort of show up each day and actually know what my body needs, or have the faith that I can, just with the space around me, devise a movement sort of practice that will serve me. So that's really great. And it ripples on into other areas of life. That proprioception, that sort of honouring of your own signals and going based on where you are and where you want to go and what you're feeling, I think is really invaluable. My intuition and trust in myself has significantly improved because of the Groundwork program. Groundwork helped me experience within my own body the nature of having a complex interacting system where working on one thing over here with say coordination and rotations suddenly impacted a resting squat. And it's the same in other areas. For example, with my singing practices, you focus in on these very minute details and sensation, making small tweaks in different sort of musculatures around the throat. And then later on, once you've peeled back different layers or made different breakthroughs, you realise you can now sing a new piece or have more ease in a certain passage. All of these things within the body and in the mind as well are really intricately connected, and Groundwork really helped sort of enforce that and teach that to me. At first, I was actually a little bit disappointed in how normal I felt doing a Groundwork program, because it's an excellent program for any rehabilitative needs, any injuries. It's there was a wide range of people and issues that everyone was getting their nails into and having to make all of these certain beautiful wins and breakthroughs for in the program. And then there was me, and I'm just kind of normal-ish. I couldn't do a resting squat. That was pretty much the extent of my, injury or challenge. So I felt, is this right for me? And it so totally was, because even if you think that you're an all-rounder, you don't have any big issues, there's still so much to learn. In fact, it's probably the best time to jump in, learn the concepts, and really get in touch with how you move, because from that position, it's a lot easier to maintain and to protect yourself as you go through your life and your different endeavours and adventures. I'm so glad that I did it now. What I've learned in the 4 months of the Groundwork program, I believe is very positively going to impact me going forward into my future. And it already is. in things like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or climbing, I'm very much in tune with how to move and how to really sort of feel safe and secure, but also try new things. So I can already feel all of the ripple-on effects, and I believe that it will definitely assist me in the future, both being my best self and also avoiding potential injuries or just chronic negative patterns.